There's actually a dude, you know, I'm in a driven mastermind, right?
Yep.
And there's a guy, he's an attorney. I mean, again, I'm assuming he's not the best attorney, but he has like 170 something thousand subs on YouTube because he knows how to convey a message on YouTube that's going to get a lot of people interested. And he says that just from the leads he gets from YouTube, even though YouTube is worldwide, it's turned his practice into a multi-million-dollar law firm, you know. And so he's really, really good at that. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the best lawyer. I don't know what his record is. I don't know any of that stuff. But he's really good at getting people that are not aware of him to be aware of him, right? And he's good at communicating a message in a way that people are like, wow, I actually trust this guy. You know, I'm going to listen to him more. And that attention is what we're all looking for.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you as always for joining me. I have a special guest on. He is a team member of mine. We have worked together for just over a year now, right? It's been over a year. And he has helped me in so many different ways. And more importantly, he's helped our clients, SSHC, in so many ways. Andres Ponciano, I would like to welcome you to SFS. Thank you for being on. Yes, awesome. All right, so why don't you tell the people a little bit about who you are, kind of your journey into what you do today. Go ahead and give your story a little bit.
Sure. So, I am a copywriter. That's how I got started. Well, actually, no. I started as a marketer. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, I kind of just my origin story is actually quite interesting because I studied music. I'm actually a musician.
Oh, I did not even know that.
So I left that, musician life, and I ended up in marketing after many years. But it was more by chance because what happened is I created a book on how to play guitar for beginners. And I built a website and the whole thing, and then I realized, wait a second, I don't know how to sell this thing. And I want to, make some money from it. Wow. And so that's how I ended up learning about marketing. And so I started, this was back in 2015. And, it was a
I did
good
not
time
know
to be
this.
in marketing.
Yeah.
That's how it started. And so that's how I ended up finding Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, all these guys. And then I fell in love with marketing.
Wow.
And so eventually through that, I'd always liked writing. So that's how I kind of fell into copy. And then, but I always had like the marketing background first, So
wow.
that's kind of how I started, and basically now what I do is all related to marketing and copy, and it's I would say it's like a hobby and something that I'm really passionate about because I mean even in my spare time I'll be like learning about it,
Right.
know.
Right. It's very clear that is the case. Now, I think what I would like to do is I would like to serve, even before we started, says how's the best way that we could serve the community? And so I think the best way is by getting people to learn what you had to learn when you were trying to sell your book on playing the guitar, right? And how do you actually take the thing that you're good at and actually get people to buy it and to allow you to be able to express your gifts. But before we get into that, can I just ask you something? What type of musician were you?
So I play guitar. That's what I
okay,
that was like
okay,
my main
yeah.
instrument.
Yep.
And it was I love improvisation.
Right.
So the focus in college was like jazz, but
Okay.
I would say that it was kind of a mix of like rock, funk, fusion.
Yeah.
It's very like instrumental music.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, very good, very good. Okay, so you're a marketer, you're a copywriter. Just for you all that are listening, Dre has basically helped. He basically writes all the copy for all the promotions that you see us, doing out there, from the challenges, our site on solutions-based offers, this, that. I mean, pretty much everything that you've seen over the last year and a half from me, that has basically been Dre. The thing that I write is I do my social media. I write emails that I'm writing to you all of things that are happening to me in real time. But Dre really has honed into this audience. So he's been able to not only hone into our audience, but he's been able to work with a lot of our clients. And so, Dre, can you share with me what do you feel is probably one of the biggest, I don't know, missing pieces to the puzzle for a lot of the clients that you work with in healthcare, since you've been in this world for the last, couple of years, I guess?
Yeah. So
you don't have to be easy on us. Go ahead. We can handle it.
No,
we can
no.
handle it. Go ahead.
So I would say that, and this isn't just like a healthcare thing. I think everybody gets hung up on the messaging, right? What do I write? How do I communicate my message? But that's not really like where I start. I think the biggest thing is really just understanding who you're talking to, right? And that's really just about knowing your audience. And so when I work with a lot of the clients, the key things that I'm most interested in is who do you serve, how do you serve them, and what are the outcomes that they want, right? Because when you can understand that, then the messaging becomes much clearer. And the reality is like, it's your message doesn't have to be like full of all these copywriting, tricks and like, psychological triggers and any of that. Like, I mean, once you understand that, then the reality is most of the healthcare clients that we work with, they know their audience well. They know how to talk to their patients. They know what they're struggling with. They know, what other healthcare professionals are struggling with. So they can already kind of have that conversation, but they just need to kind of zero in on what's really like going to move the needle for them and get them, interested in having that conversation.
Right. So I feel like they're very good at, once they get the clients, they know their problems. They know what has like made them want to book this appointment. But it's the part that happens before that. It's getting the client to actually be aware that something that they don't even know is a big enough problem is a problem, and to really have that conversation with them before they're ready to actually purchase the thing from them. Correct?
Yeah. I would say also, just because I worked with therapists. My mom's a therapist and like a psychologist, and the one thing that I had to kind of like help her kind of change is realizing that she's a business owner. Like, she's a solopreneur. She owns her own practice. She has to market, right? And so sometimes I think healthcare professionals and people like, like lawyers, people that have like a practice, they forget that they're still business owners. They still need to understand business. They still need to generate new clients. They still need to market. They still need to figure out how to get referrals, how to create positive word of mouth, get their name out there, right?
Right.
That's also like a big challenge for people. Just, I think for anyone who works with clients, just having a constant flow of people coming in, right? And then keeping them, obviously.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things for us as healthcare providers, with me being, one of those people, is when I started my business, I thought that if I was just really, really, really good at what I do, all that other stuff would take care of itself, right? And obviously that's not the case, right? It doesn't matter. And so if that's where you're coming from and that's your thought process, you're like, I just have to get better at what I do. If I can get better at what I do, people will tell other people about me because, well, just it speaks for itself. And so that's what a lot of people think, including myself. That's what I thought. But then you realize over time, like, crap, it doesn't really work like that. You actually have to have a process for getting people to come into your world, and it truly is a process. And so, is there anything else you'd add to that?
Yeah, I think it's a Dan Kennedy quote that it's like, it's not about being the best, it's about being the best known.
Right, right.
Because there are people you can go on YouTube and you can find like, there's this singing dentist. I don't know if you've ever seen him, the guy like sings and he films himself. And I don't know if he's the best dentist, but I can tell you he's entertaining and he's getting people's attention. He's probably really well known in his local area and probably full.
Wow. That's amazing. There's actually a dude, I'm in a Driven Mastermind, right?
Yep.
And there's a guy, he's an attorney. I mean, again, I'm assuming he's not the best attorney, but he has like 170 something thousand subs on YouTube because he knows how to convey a message on YouTube that's going to get a lot of people interested. And he says that just from the leads he gets from YouTube, even though YouTube is worldwide, it's turned his practice into a multi-million-dollar law firm, and so he's really, really good at that. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the best lawyer. I don't know what his record is. I don't know any of that stuff, but he's really good at getting people that are not aware of him to be aware of him, right? And he's good at communicating a message in a way that people are like, wow, I actually trust this guy. I'm going to listen to him more. And that attention is what we're all looking for. So here's, it's the attention economy. So what would you say for someone that's struggling right now? And I think this is a lot of people where they struggle to get attention. What are some Dre tidbits that you would say to them on what they should be looking at or where should they start when it comes to being able to become a better attention getter?
Oh, man. So, going back to like my experience, like having written a book on how to play guitar and everything, one of the biggest lessons that I learned is, even though I never ended up selling it, by the way, just as an aside.
Okay, yeah.
Because I realized, like, I'm a perfectionist, so I was like, I don't think it's that good yet. And, there were videos with the book and everything, but I realized, like, there were so many free things on YouTube. So I was like, how can I compete, and like, but then this is something that a lot of people think, how can I compete with this? And the reality is, like, there's a market for a lot of things, you'd be surprised. And some people, they don't want to, you've talked about this, they don't want to go on YouTube and learn. They just rather learn from a professional who's going to give them a very, like, strategic way of learning, in the next, 30 days to 90 days so they can play a song.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other big thing that I learned is you want to create a product or anything you create based on demand. So you don't just want to go create something because you're into it and then realize, wait, no one wants to buy this. And I feel in a way I kind of did that, like I didn't really think about the market, the audience, and what their biggest pain points were. And I think that's really where the biggest opportunities are for getting attention, right? So if let's say, whatever, you're a dietitian, one of the things I would do is go into forums or go into anywhere where people are talking about food, dieting, weight issues. Like Reddit is a great place. Amazon, the book reviews is a great place. And I'm sure there's tons of other like places to find this stuff. And you can literally scrape all these reviews and you can find like some of the most emotional posts that people make. You can find the ones with the most comments. Those are going to be things that can inspire a ton of your content, right? Just one idea, just one line that talks about how, someone is dealing with this pain and they haven't been able to figure it out and they're just looking for a way out, just one line can stop someone in their tracks from scrolling, and just grab them.
100%. You guys, I think that's one of the big lessons I've had to learn over the years is that when you are trying to break out in the marketplace, you've got to create something that is what the people want. You have to create the thing that they are looking for. You can do it in your unique way, but it's got to be what they're looking for. And I think a lot of times, we want to create what is passionate to us, and there is absolutely no guarantee. There's no guarantee that anything's going to work. But there's definitely no guarantee to something working just because that's something that you feel like you do great or that's something that's interesting to you. I mean, if you're buying it and that's how you deem it as successful, is based off of if you like it, that's fine. But it doesn't. It's a very, very, very risky thing to do, to have it in that way. So I 100% agree with you that. Now, what I have seen, at least for myself, is over the years, once your brand gets so strong, you can kind of screw this up a little bit, where people trust you so much that now they feel like, you know what, even though I didn't think of this problem, because I trust you, I think I might need it, right? Let's take Apple, for example, right? Apple, at this point, if they come up with the iCar, a lot of people are going to buy it just because, well, every other offer you've come out with, it's like it's always been really good. So if I'm in the market for a car, I'm going to probably give you the benefit of the doubt because you're so established in my life, right? Coke Zero can be that for Coca-Cola, right? Diet Pepsi could be that for Pepsi, right? And so, but that's years and years and years of hitting it, the nail on the head over and over and over again. The majority of you that are listening to myself and Dre, you can't do that, okay? You've got to create something that the people actually want and are looking for right now. And so you just have to put your little spin with regards to messaging or your spin with regards to how you're delivering it in a different way. And then, but you know for sure they want that. So I 100% agree with you with that. Okay, so let me ask you this. You do a lot of our messaging. You do a lot of our copy. You help us with a lot of our advertising and promotions, but you also do it for our clients as well. But you have really been into AI and using AI to be able to help you do this. So can you explain just in some ways like how you're able to basically do the job that you used to do for a couple clients before, but now basically nearly 10x, maybe even more of your work through using AI? Can you give us a little example of how you do that?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example of just marketing research.
Right.
So if I were really going into let's say the healthcare space and getting to know physical therapists and all of that, I would probably spend, weeks getting to know the market, just reading about it, everything I can get my hands on, trade journals, websites, videos, anything. And now, I mean, I have a prompt that allows me to go into ChatGPT, any language model, and basically say, I work with physical therapists aged 30 to 50. Some own a practice. Some are still working at hospitals or, clinics. Please fill out all these details. And then I put, pain points, whatever, challenges, aspirations, their dreams. What are the biggest emotional points? Specific phrases that are likely to grab their attention. And within one prompt, I have an output that's already, I would say, probably 90% there.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just saves so much time. And then what you're able to do with that is you can take, let's say you've already got like some articles that you've written, you've already got some video scripts, you've already got some social media posts that you've created. And now you can take this list of, your avatar, right, that describes them and say, are these messages hitting all these points?
Wow.
Are they going to trigger these specific issues so that they can really connect with the reader?
Right.
And then it'll point out, where to fix things, where to make little tweaks. And that just, it's great. It's not just great for that, but it's, obviously there's so many things you can do, but one of the things that I use it most for is just helping me improve what I write. Right. Because I've taken courses and I'm in groups and everything, but it's not easy to get feedback on your copy. Right. From high profile copywriters. It can get really expensive So unless you're doing that on a day-to-day basis, like this is like the next best thing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. You guys, I think one of the biggest things that Dre hit on, and that is the first component of what it really takes to be able to dial in your messaging and get people to move. And he said it at the beginning of the podcast, and he said, you got to know your audience. And 10, 15 years ago, to really, really, really understand your audience at the top level. And for those of you listening, I mean, if you want to make really good money, you have to be at the top level of understanding your audience, right? You can't just kind of know them. Like, you've got to know them in and out, right? So just understand who your competition is. Your competition is other providers, right? And those providers went to school just like you, and they learned all the different techniques just like you. So you're not dealing with people that just don't know anything. You're dealing with people that have a solid base of understanding of who their client is, okay? To take, at least for me, to take myself to that next level, to take my clinics to that next level, I had to really, really, really understand clients. And back then, Dre, like, I had to take clients out. I took them out to lunch. I took them out to dinner. I took them out to Starbucks. I would, like, ask them questions, this, that, that. I mean, it's months, years of asking over and over and over again. What you can do in 1 to 3 prompts through these AI language models is absolutely bananas. It's like what it took me years to do. It can basically do that for you for a brand new audience that you're thinking of serving, And so, guys, if you don't know your audience, you don't really know what it is that they want and what they're looking for right now. And so, there's many different things that you can use AI for, but I think what Dre said is that's like the number one thing that you can do. Use it to help you understand your audience better, and then use it as an auditing tool to look at your content and say, okay, based on what this is telling me from pulling from everywhere, am I actually putting out messaging that's hitting these things that the world is telling me that my audience needs? And I think most of us will find, especially those of us that are struggling, will find, oh my gosh, I'm hitting things that I like, but I'm not hitting it from where they're at before they can work with me. And so I think that's really, really huge. So I love that. All right, why don't we tell them a little bit about what we've been doing for our clients with regards to AI and what type of assistance we're creating for them, because we're getting ready to go on another trip to go do this again for another group of clients. So why don't you share it, since you're kind of the one that created a lot of this.
Sure. So what we've done is ChatGPT allows you to create assistants to help you with different tasks. So we decided to, what was the biggest pain point for our market, right? For our audience. And the biggest issue is really marketing, right? What we just talked about. So we thought, well, how could we make it effortless? How could we make it easier for them? Mm-hmm. So we decided to create a marketing team, an AI marketing team. And so we've got a marketing strategist, which helps kind of create a marketing strategy, a plan, and how to get, how to build your marketing to achieve that plan. We've got an email copywriter, a copywriter who writes everything, a social media marketer, assistant that basically helps you create your social media plan, all the hooks you'll ever need, like some amazing stuff, the whole content plan. And then the last one we have is one to create virtual events, right? Like webinars, challenges, workshops. And that one basically writes the whole thing for you, including outlining the script. It'll write the script for you. It'll create the slides for you. I mean, it's for people who actually go in and use this and like implement it, it's crazy. And there's, we built the whole training around it with videos. So it's, that, let's say you're a healthcare professional, you don't necessarily need to be the one actually doing all this. You can allow your assistants to actually do it for you, right? So
yeah, you guys, it's quite interesting when I look at my journey. So Dre, let me tell you, in 2005 is when I started my clinics, okay? And basically I did all of the outbound marketing, myself, right? And back then it wasn't social media. It was me getting in my car or my truck and going door to door to different providers, different businesses and whatnot, and just trying to get my name out. About 2 years later, when I had now built up enough income and revenue and whatnot, I actually hired my first marketing assistant, right? Her name was Denise. And Denise would, I paid her to go to different doctor's offices, to go to different businesses that were probably servicing the same clients that we were servicing, to talk to our clients and find out their needs, their wants, their frustrations. And, this is like 2007. So I think I was probably paying her like $30 an hour or something like that, to 25 to 35 bucks an hour. It's like, so call it like 30. And that's what Denise would do for us. And in a day, let's just say she'd work 4 to 6 hours a day for us. In a day, she could probably hit 5 to 6 businesses, right? Like get in her car, go to a business. They might not talk with her. And her job was to get intel, right? It's to find out what the market is needing. What are our potential referral sources needing? What are clients that could use us? What are they saying in the marketplace? And so on a great day, Dre, she could talk to 4 people. She could go to 6 to 8 offices, 6 to 8 businesses, and maybe get 50% of them to actually give her data, right? Yeah. And I'm just thinking what these assistants can do, and it costs you less than $20 a month, right? To have what someone was doing for me, working probably about 25 to 30 hours a week, getting paid $30 an hour. This is back in 2007, y'all. This is not 2024, okay? This is what it was then. And today, it's obviously going to be even more. So I'm saying that to you all as you're listening, because I think it's really in your best interest to not gloss over this stuff, to actually use it. Because if you don't know your audience, you definitely are going to be the best in your industry. You're not going to be the best known, as Drace or maybe as Dan Kennedy said, right? Okay, you're not going to be the best known. But if you totally fail to do this on a consistent basis, so that you know your audience better than all your competition, you're going to lose. And if you want to be able to save money and have a business that's profitable and that's financially healthy, it's probably in your best interest to use resources that have access to the world and not just access to a small little area, right? So, guys, I think this is extremely, extremely powerful. It has allowed our clients, that especially our solo clients, to be able to actually have a team of people that are working for them, and not just working for them when we're showing them, but working for them all the time. It's a really, really powerful thing. Dre, would you add anything else to that?
No, I mean, I think the main thing is like just start using it.
Yeah.
Just start using it. Get acquainted with it. It can help out in so many ways, And I think a lot of people are just like afraid to use it and think there's all these other issues that are gonna come about. But it's I think the benefits outweigh like the cons.
Right. Yeah.
And just if you're not using it, like the people who are using it are really gonna have an advantage over you in business.
Right. Well, you actually have done a program for us showing people how to actually use these assistants to your advantage. And like, at least, I mean, I took the actual program that you did, and it was an eye opener to me. There was one thing in particular that was huge, and just like, how would you instruct a beginner to use ChatGPT, Claude, or any of these AI platforms? Is there any? Here, I'll actually just say what it is that you said. You said just talk to the AI like you're talking to a pretty smart individual, right? You don't have to have like the perfect prompt, or you don't have to have the perfect. Just talk to them in the way that you would talk to someone that's pretty knowledgeable in the area that you're discussing. And it's crazy because I was always looking for like the perfect prompt, the perfect thing to say, and thinking that if I said anything like that wasn't exactly what you were supposed to say, then that thing wouldn't work. And honestly, like ever since then, it's like I'm like, wow, like I can do this, you know, and it's worked out great for me and worked out great for here us as a company. Is there any other little tip you would give to someone that's just getting started in this?
Just open an account, start messing with it, start using it in your day to day. I mean,
Yeah.
I use it. You know, it's not just for like copy or stuff. You know, the reason that they just came up with Search GPT
Yeah.
is because I'm pretty sure Google Search is losing tons of traffic from people using ChatGPT as a source, as if it were Google, basically.
It's Google, right?
Because people are using it for questions, they're using it to create images, they're using it for just random information. It's insane, like what you can do. You can put in your company's numbers, you can have it analyze the KPIs, tell you where you need to fix things, how to fix them. It's just, I would just say get started using it, and think about how you can implement it in your business to cut costs, save some money, maybe just make some of the repetitive, tedious, boring tasks, just automate them,
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do a little soft pitch to you all on the podcast. Many of you that are listening to the podcast, you are already our customers, and you can attest to what it is that I'm about to share. Dre lives in Guatemala, by the way, you guys, and Dre flies into the States to work with our clients, and we work with our clients a few times throughout the year. And what we have been doing is we have been building out assistance for our clients to be able to help them with their entire marketing and sales journey for their company and for their potential customers to be actual customers. And so what we have done for our clients is we have taken their business, we have asked them a few different questions with regard to their business, and then help them actually build out assistants that are custom to their business. And then what we have done is we've used those assistants to be able to help us and help them in building out marketing, sales plans, lead generation plans, so that they can actually start the process of their business actually running like a business, right? And not just hoping that customers come, but putting systems and processes in play. But to do that, and just to do that with just humans, takes a lot of time and it's a lot of money. But we've been doing it with clients, and we've been working them for 3 days at a time, and they are basically getting what it would have taken 3, 6, up to 12 months. They're getting all done in 3 days. And it's not just having Dre and my team there, it's having these AI assistants there as well. And so anyways, if you guys are not a part of that, you can text us to 813-534-6453. Text us event, and we'll tell you of when we're doing our next one. We're actually going to Blue Ridge, Georgia next week. That event is sold out, so but we're going to Blue Ridge, Georgia, and we're going to be doing this for 2 different waves of clients. And so, Dre, would you say, like, what has been your kind of feedback or takeaway from those events that you've been a part of so far?
It was good. I mean, I think I was happy because, one, the AI assistants that we built worked the way that we had planned.
Right.
Because it's one thing to just build out a GPT assistant. It's another thing to actually build one out for a specific business that talks like you, has your communication style, has a persona, is built for your products, knows your business, knows who you are, your story, right? So to watch the clients all using that and, reading these emails and saying, wow, that actually does sound like me. It sounds like the way I speak. These are definitely things that I hear my patients saying to me all the time.
Right.
That was a good feeling. So I know they were happy. And then just to watch how in maybe it was like 4 or 5 hours that we built out a lead generation funnel, a webinar funnel, and a premium offer funnel. I mean, even after you like go through and you edit the copy and everything, like it's months of work basically in just a few days.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. It's pretty epic. It's honestly, it is I'm the most satisfied with this offer than any other offer I've created as a coach and a consultant. And I've been a coach consultant since 2009. And this is just like, I'm like, man, for the money, this is like the best thing we've ever created. So thank you, Dre. We appreciate you being a huge part of that. And obviously, thank you to the SSHC team as well. All right. So where can people find you? Do you want them to find you? Go ahead and go ahead and tell them.
Best place is Facebook, I think. Andres Ponciano, just my name.
Okay, cool.
They can message me there, add me there.
All right. Well, I can tell you this. As great of a marketer as Dre is, he's an even better guy, just an awesome all-around human. Can't wait to see you next week. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you. It's good. Right. Good talk.
Awesome.